She doesn't wait for a sign, a nod, or a green light. She doesn't pause for someone else to say, go ahead. She's already moving while others hesitate, tangled in doubt, or waiting for validation. She's out there building, step by step, brick by brick. She's the kind of woman who hears you can't and translates it to watch me. Her life isn't scripted by someone else's expectations, and she sure as hell doesn't play a supporting role in her own story. When there's no trail, she makes one. When there's no map, she trusts her instincts. She doesn't need a hand to hold unless it's her own, pulling herself up. That kind of self-reliance doesn't come from ease or comfort. It's born in the fire of experience, in moments where there was no one else to lean on, where she had to learn that her strength wasn't optional. It was necessary. And now she wears that strength like armor, not to impress, not to intimidate, but because she's built for battle and she knows her way through the storm. She moves with a quiet certainty, guided not by noise, but by something deeper, her own inner compass. While the world spins with distractions and opinions, she listens inward. She knows that following the crowd never leads to the extraordinary, so she chooses to trust her gut. That raw instinct honed by experience, pain, triumph, and truth. She's not swayed by flashing lights or loud voices telling her who to be. Her values are non-negotiable, her boundaries are clear, and her direction is her own. People may not always understand her choices, and that's fine. She doesn't owe anyone an explanation. She's not here for approval. She's here for alignment. And because she leads herself from within, she walks through life with a kind of fire that can't be taught. It's felt. She knows her path because she built it, not from blueprints handed to her, but from the deep understanding that everything she needs to move forward already lives inside her. She's walked roads with no footprints ahead of her, stood in silence when no one showed up, and still she rose, not because it was easy, but because she had no choice but to become her own backbone. Solitude didn't scare her, it sharpened her. While others fear being alone, she found her power in it. She learned to sit with her own chaos and not run, to face her shadows and still choose light. She's not afraid of being misunderstood, left out, or standing solo in a crowded room. That's where she learned what she's truly made of. When the noise fades and the crowd's thin, that's when her real strength shows up. She's held herself through breakdowns, through silence, through nights when everything felt like it was falling apart, and every single time she came back stronger, quieter maybe, but deeper, wiser, more unshakable. Because resilience doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a woman refusing to give up on herself when no one else is watching. She doesn't shrink to fit, doesn't dim her light to keep others comfortable. She's not here to be palatable. She's here to be real. Her authenticity isn't loud for attention. It's bold because it's rare. She doesn't twist herself into versions that please the room. If she's fire, she burns. If she's calm, she's the stillness before the storm. She allows herself to be all things, soft and sharp, fierce and gentle, without needing to explain the contrast. The world might try to label her, box her in, tell her she's too much or not enough, but she's done editing herself to be understood. She wears her truth like a second skin. She's not chasing acceptance. She accepts herself fully and completely. That's her power. She's not living for the image. She's living for the substance. And the moment she stopped needing to be liked was the moment she became unstoppable. She's not moved by claps or compliments. The spotlight doesn't fuel her. Purpose does. While others chase applause, she's chasing impact. Her fire doesn't come from being seen. It comes from knowing exactly why she's doing what she's doing. She's not here to entertain or impress. She's here to fulfill something deep, something that can't be measured in likes or trophies. The work she does, the way she shows up, it's not for attention, it's for alignment. Even if no one notices, even if no one thanks her, she keeps going because her mission is louder than her need for recognition. And that's the difference. She doesn't burn out trying to please people. She burns steady because her energy is rooted in something real. And when you're powered by purpose, not praise, you don't stop when it gets quiet. You move even louder in the silence. She wasn't born unbreakable, she became it. Her strength wasn't handed to her, it was built from the ground up. In moments that tested every part of her, she's been through things that could have destroyed her. But instead, they forged her. Every scar, every setback, every night she cried in silence and still showed up the next day. Those are the bricks she used to build herself. People look at her now and see the power, the confidence, the poise, but they don't always see the story behind it. They don't see the countless times she had to choose herself when no one else did. The time she stood back up, not because she felt strong, but because she refused to stay down. Her strength isn't an accident. It's a result of showing up for herself when it would have been easier to quit. She's proof that warriors aren't born, they're made in the fire, shaped by pain and polished by persistence. She doesn't lose herself while lifting others. She knows how to give without being emptied, how to support without being silenced. Her strength isn't just in standing tall, it's in reaching out, pulling others up, and reminding them of their own power. But make no mistake, she's not a martyr. She doesn't disappear to make others shine. She knows her worth and she protects it fiercely. You won't find her sacrificing her identity for acceptance or bending so far she breaks. She understands the balance, how to pour into others while still keeping her cup full. And that's rare. That's power. She leads by example, not by demand. She teaches without preaching, inspires without trying. Just by being fully herself, she gives others permission to do the same. Because when a woman stands in her truth, grounded and unshaken, she becomes a mirror that shows others what's possible without ever losing sight of who she is. She doesn't need to shout to be heard. Her presence speaks before she does. There's a calm in her confidence, a quiet knowing that doesn't beg for attention. It commands respect. She doesn't waste energy proving her worth because she already knows it. You won't find her in constant competition or chasing validation. Her power is subtle but undeniable. It's in how she carries herself, how she walks into a room without needing to take it over. She lets her actions speak, lets her results do the talking. And when she does speak, people listen, not because she's loud, but because her words are grounded in truth. She doesn't confuse noise with influence. She knows real impact doesn't need a microphone, it needs integrity. And that's what sets her apart. She's not trying to be seen. She's already rooted, unshaken, unbothered, unstoppable. She is the embodiment of strength, not because she needs anyone to lead her, but because she has learned to lead herself with unwavering conviction. She has forged her path through self-reliance, trust in her inner compass, resilience in solitude, and an unyielding commitment to authenticity. She doesn't seek applause, nor does she need validation. Her purpose is clear, her strength is earned, and her journey is uniquely hers. She is not defined by the opinions of others, but by the courage to stand in her truth. In a world that often tries to define women, she redefines strength on her own terms. Quiet, fierce, and undeniable, powerful. And in her strength, she becomes a light, not just for herself, but for every woman who dares to rise on her own. The strength of a woman who needs no one to lead her is the force that changes the world.